Red Dread Nation.
One more time.
Right. Almost said Akasan's honest reactions. No, wait. Okay, there you go. Red Dreaded Entertainment. My name is Akasan.
Hey, where's DC's on?
We're after the Flash. We're always just like so out of it. We should probably do them in reverse. I don't know. Huh? That was a pun. Okay. Anyways, back to back, bat to bat reactions here. We're gonna be doing one: the Joker Dark Knight versus Joker Suicide Squad.
All right.
Battle of the Clowns.
Bring it on. Which one's funnier?
Oh, it's from Ishmael. Okay, I didn't know that.
Minute matchups.
Hey, I know which movie this is from.
With the swinging microphone in the back.
I like that stillness.
You know,
Oh, so
I like to savor the simple things in life. Like gunpowder and gasoline. But most of all,
magic.
magic tricks.
He almost looks like the Crow.
He does.
Who's that, Macklemore?
You thought you could steal from me?
Yeah.
If you weren't so crazy, I'd think you were insane.
So, you're the one that everyone's telling me about. Well, that's right.
You have something that belongs to me. And I want it back.
Harley?
You want it back? Then come get it.
That was a Doors funny.
Nice casting with him, actually.
Yeah. Actually looks like it.
Yeah. Holy
Ooh.
shit.
Nice catch. Oh! Damn. Head first. That was rough.
It's for your own good, baby.
It's Harley. Very nonchalant. I like that.
Alright. Comes peeking out.
Yeah, it looks really funny. He's doing this
Don't worry,
really
guys.
well.
Yeah.
Clean up the mess.
You know, with those teeth and the way they got his hair slicked back, if they just paint his face black like a skull, black mask.
Oh! Yeah.
Who's sketching the pencil?
Why? So serious.
He
Oh.
shoots both of them. Wow.
Shoots through himself.
Oh!
Ta-da!
Wait, did he shoot through his arm? Or
I thought he shot through his
Right.
stomach. It's his Harley.
The rope's too tight.
It was all part of the plan, Puddin'. Besides,
Oh.
I've had worse.
Dude. That was rough.
That's not a smile on that face. You promised me. This matchup was only possible thanks to our good friends over at Loot
That
Crate.
was
The
dark.
Super Awesome Monthly Mystery Geek Box, where you can get really cool stuff kind of like this Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Megazord shirt, and this Lego Batman food container that is exclusive to Loot Crate.
Support the show and get awesome stuff for yourself at the same time by hitting that link below, lootcrate.com/Ismahawk. Use the promo code Ismahawk. Get 10% off your own Loot Crate and get stuff
He
like
plays,
this.
Thanks for watching, guys,
sometimes.
and stay tuned to see
Nice.
who's battling in the next matchup.
Nightcrawler,
Do it.
if I remember.
Do it.
And,
That's right.
the
That
Wolverine.
Nightcrawler was cool.
Subscribe and follow us on our social media to find out who Star-Lord will face in our next episode.
Master
Check out
Chief.
the Evolution of Joker companion
Ooh.
video created by our friends over
That'd
at
be cool.
Variant. And if you really like our videos and want to help us make more, consider supporting us on Patreon. Alright, see you next time.
He has a cartoon.
None of us.
He should face what's his name? Ezio.
Ah, that'd be interesting. So Joker versus Joker. That was,
Wow.
yeah.
That was dark.
I didn't like that ending only because I kind of knew that was kind of a snub to Suicide Squad and like how they just didn't. It seems like they actually did not like that.
I like that.
Version of the Joker, which I understand. It's their prerogative to do that.
Yeah.
So
Do you think they're putting a smile on his face or cutting the smile out his hand?
no, I would say putting a smile on his face, and that could be actually a nod to Scott Snyder's version of the
of
Joker,
him.
and that's an interesting idea.
Yeah.
Or maybe, then again, maybe not, because that was already remove his entire face. So.
Yeah. And then like half-ass stitch it back.
It's an interesting dilemma because watching it, as someone who loves the TDK trilogy, you couldn't help but like that Ledger Joker.
Yeah.
But
It's cool.
at the same time, I felt bad for the Leto Joker because I feel the Leto Joker sometimes gets a bad rap.
I feel like some people felt like he let the performance for his character let them down as far as the Joker.
I just think he got the worst. He got the worst rendition of the Joker, in terms of. I feel like if BVS came out much later, earlier, if basically if BVS came out, and you had the Fallout, the Zack Snyder Fallout,
Right.
that Warner Brothers probably could have had a lot more time to work on Suicide Squad and fix some of the kinks that were wrong with Suicide Squad. What we ended up with Suicide Squad was not what I think anybody originally intended to be, and
like it ended up being a slice of 3 different versions put together in one.
Well, that's exactly what it was. The final result was like, what? But I also feel like the biggest problem...
In a weird way.
I liked it, but I only like it because I know I can see through... I can give it a pass on certain things because they rushed the hell out of that movie, and it was just like, okay, if they had delayed it like they did with BVS and delayed it for an entire year and was starting to hype it up like it was the greatest movie ever made,
Right.
then I would be a lot harder on it. But the fact that they were just like, dude, like it's a Suicide Squad movie,
Right.
don't expect much
Take it or
type
leave
of
it.
deal. Yeah, I was kind of like, okay, same thing with in some form or fashion with Guardians of the Galaxy. I went into Guardians of the Galaxy just like, okay, well, I don't know much about it, but they made the movie, so let me see.
Right.
And it was like, okay, I'll give it a pass, or like, I mean, most people really liked it. I don't really see much of a return value of Guardians of the Galaxy, but it's okay for me.
Guardians of the Galaxy, it was for me, as far as just plain entertainment, not being tied to any
Right.
comic book universe. I thought it made a a decent sci-fi film.
Right. So well, the thing I guess I wanted to say was with Leto's Joker and such is I feel like unfortunately Leto got the short end of the stick because of Zack Snyder's influence, where his influence lies in Frank Miller. Batman R.I.P., All-Star Batman and Robin, all the fucking tattoos, all that stuff, all the that edge or whatever. It's in my opinion, it's all coming from Frank Miller influenced situations. All the tattoos, everything comes from The Dark Knight Returns, plus Batman R.I.P. and All-Star Batman and Robin. You pick up those comics, you'll be like, fucking A, this is the smorgasbord of what Snyder was trying to do with Leto's Joker to make it fairly different from Ledger's Joker.
Right.
But
it's understandable, but
at some point in time it just went too far with the grill, the fucking tattoo on the head. You know, if you remove the tattoos, if you remove the grill, if you maybe change the wardrobe just a little bit, I say you have a pretty solid Arkham Batman.
Or 66 Batman. Not Batman, 66 Joker.
Right. Okay, I can see that. I feel that the idea of the mob gangster Joker, there's nothing wrong with it. If anybody who actually has read Batman comic, not just a Miller comic, but a Batman concurrent comic, you know that there are wars in Gotham. There's territory disputes.
Yep.
Batman's always in the middle of it, but even the Arkham games actually establishes that very well in the fact that every part of Gotham is kind of cut out. This is Penguin's area. Yes, this is Joker's area. So I didn't have a big problem with the gangster style Joker. There's a great book written. It's called The Joker. It's a hardback cover. There's the story wise. It's actually influenced by the Joker, basically. Story-wise, Suicide Squad has a lot of those elements in there. It's just
influenced by that book.
Right. The guy with the assistant guy?
Yeah.
The assistant guy, that's in that actual book and shit. So,
funny thing is, I have it, and I just never opened it because I wanted to keep it as pristine as possible and figured I'll get the digital version and read that and keep that as it is, just because it was so unique. Hello.
Well, yeah, because even the strip tease, the strip scene, that is actually taken. Cool. That's taken. The first time I saw Suicide Squad are when they were doing. Harley was doing strip tease. That's completely where a lot of that influence was, because they he skinned the guy on stage for looking at Harley wrong and such like that.
Wow. So I guess they figured that was a little too graphic, so instead they had Common's character come in and then just shoot him in the head.
Right, there's other scenes, there's territory wars and all the bosses, but there's one particular...
Okay, I'm gonna have to read it.
Yeah, there's one particular scene where the Joker's all fucked up on drugs all the time, and the Joker is fucked up on drugs, and he's crying in the arms of Harley and shit, and this scene, yeah.
That's so sweet.
And he's all fucked up and shit. But they had scenes like that in Suicide Squad. It just didn't get developed the right way. And it probably should have been just saved for a Harley Quinn solo movie or something
that, or it got cut.
So, my point is, it's just like the whole Batman killing situation. There's potential. It was too much of everything. Even with Superman, there were parts of Superman you really like what Zack Snyder was trying to do. He just went way too far and way too aggressive with it, and it's really hard to kind of pull back now and try to redeem these characters when the first influence is just like, ooh, no, I don't like it type of deal. So I feel like
going a little too far, too fast.
Right, well, that's what we're having with Justice League as well. It's like, okay, no, Akasan, you don't understand. It's about his redemption path because Superman died. Now Batman's going to become the Batman we need. Now Superman's going to become the Superman we need. So now, wait, we got to say the same deal with Joker as well? Like, no, you don't. It's not that the character's bad. It's just that you don't understand that we're going to be getting the one eventually after 3 or 4 movies. Who needs to wait for that? Like,
true, I will say as far as
this
Batman
isn't a TV
and
show,
Superman,
you know?
Being on the road to redemption,
right.
so to speak, or to be closer to the versions that people enjoy in the comic books. I'm okay with that part. Not saying that there weren't parts of the movies that were a bit too extreme in one way or another, but I'm okay with him going in that direction with the characters because he is trying to humanize them more or make the characters feel less larger than life, so to speak. I'm okay with him doing that. My issue is with the story carrying over to the other characters.
Right. Okay.
Superman and Batman, I'm not worried about at all. It's the other characters in the team that I'm a little like, how's this going to...
My issue is trying to play this long-run game with movies is completely different than trying to do it in a one episode, one season, one movie type of. If it was from the beginning to the end in one feature film, then that's a lot different. But this idea of like having to hold out every 2 or 3 years,
true,
most audiences aren't gonna like. You're gonna lose your interest.
You are, and you may and you may not. Because look at it this way: outside of everyone saying, well, they're behind the 8 ball, they have to catch up to these other studios for doing this, or catch up to Marvel because they've done this. It's not that they have to catch up; they have to actually establish an actual universe for the characters. It's not so much of a catch-up game; it's how do we put this together and make it work? Because realistically, it's not really a catch-up because you had the other studios doing it for years, but they're playing the long game of having each character or story build in. Okay, and that's cool. It works, and I'm glad that they do that because it gives fans something to look forward to in their favorite storyline, hero, or the other heroes that eventually tie into that one way or another. On the DC side, it's what they're trying to do. They're doing it in the TV shows. In the movies, not so much as smoothly as we would like it, but I'm hoping that from the Justice League movie it starts to filter out and go smoother. And
but let
me retract that. From the Wonder Woman movie and on, I hope it smooths out better because the Wonder Woman movie is a great way to show and showcase an individual character without everybody else.
But the problem here is that that's you as a fan hoping for better days in the future or more successful movies in the future.
Well, not just successful movies, but just good stories. For me, I want to have a good story.
Here's the point. That's you as a fan, where the majority of people are not fans of the show, like fans of characters that they'll go see the movie no matter what, regardless.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's why I'm hoping the stories are stronger because then word of mouth
they
will
need
go.
to, because at this point, it's... If you don't want to count Man of Steel, I mean, I would still count Man of Steel, but they're already pretty much at almost 3 strikes at this point in terms of like Man of Steel mixed. People kind of gave it a pass. It was like, okay, whatever, you know. But BVS was supposed to be the beginning of the DCEU. Mixed reviews on that. Critics hated it.
Yeah.
Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
Again, critics hated it. Mixed reviews on that one as well. If anything, more, I feel more people actually did not like Suicide Squad than BVS. Because it's kind of like, here we go.
Not bad guys? No.
Here we go. Wonder Woman, let's see what happens. Already there's trouble from what we've heard. Justice League, already trouble with this. My point here is at this point, it's not a deal of like when you see Zack Snyder's name on a title, like from the guy who brought you Batman v Super. Nah, they're not going to be putting that up there. From like the excitement isn't there.
It's
anymore.
not. It's not there
for non-fans, for non-convicted fans. Yeah,
I think that the
he's becoming Michael Bay of the making comic books. But
ooh, the only reason I say ooh because you had fans of Transformers that dropped out because of Michael Bay directing them. And then you have people who had no interest in it and they jumped on because it was funny. But even his movies have, when it comes to Transformers, it has mixed reviews because some people like the style and some people don't.
But the problem is that the thing is Transformers is actually making money. That's big time money.
Well, technically, they all are. Because if you look at it, they're breaching that 500 million mark and over. Even if they're not, super successful with the fans, money-wise, they are making it, and that's why they're green-lighting all these projects. But to retract or slow down would be a good idea, and work more on how can we build a better storyline with the characters, not a better character with the stories.
Right. I mean, it's something we can continue to talk about forever, but it's also the situation that, in short, the studios just really don't actually care about the storyline. Like, I know you want a good story, but for them, it's just putting out a movie. If it floats, it floats. They don't really care about the, it's,
which is a sad thing because I think if it has a decent story, and it doesn't matter what studio it's from, in general, if you have a story and a character that's strong and it does well, then to have a sequel or to have tie-ins or whatever is almost like a no-brainer. It'll go smoothly. Look at John Wick. John Wick was a standalone sleeper movie.
It is very
but
it is very interesting. I think we spoke about this earlier, joking-wise, about how Matthew Reeves dropped out of negotiations.
It's like,
but
why?
You were just like,
what happened?
I know why. But
what's going on that's so bad that he's like,
in my opinion, I don't think any director wants their name on this shit anymore because, for like you said, they'll keep on putting out movies, but I think people that want to still work in the industry and still want a job afterwards to do other projects, like, for example, Michael Bay...
They need something to
Michael
change.
Bay, even though he's highly successful with Transformers, won't be able to do any type. It's not like people will rush to him to make a movie, Well,
he's had a couple movies non-Transformers related and non-Bad Boys related that actually did well. Was it 13 hours?
I'd say Pearl Harbor.
No, 13th hour. 13 hour.
Okay. So my thing,
which was a really good movie.
What I was going to say was, maybe it is something that maybe Zack Snyder should fully embrace his role. We were joking earlier, but now that I think about it, maybe he should just fully embrace this Michael Bay-ish role and just do every DCEU movie.
Okay, now I will have to say with the fans as well, no.
Okay.
And the reason I say no, him taking on Batman, the Batman movie,
because I think he's popular.
I'm okay with that because he's already directed BVS, and it could give him a chance to, if it's answering the fans, doing things that fans didn't like, it gives him a chance to try and fix that.
He wouldn't.
But the reason I don't want him to direct the entire DC universe, because I like the idea of having other like-minded people working together on a project instead of one person. So, the director of Wonder Woman or a director of Aquaman or whatever,
but unfortunately,
doing that, great.
But unfortunately, we have seen that it's not working out so well.
With the Batman.
No, the Batman, the Flash. Didn't Wonder Woman lose a director early on as well? Or there was problems early on? They couldn't... I think they lost the director
It was a script issue.
Okay, so there's these issues already, and that's the problem with having many hands in a pot as well. Marvel's had the same problem, but they've just been able to be successful at it. Keep it like the Thor, they lost the director. Or something like that.
But they were able
to still streamline it because they have this one vision.
Right. That, and because they're like, look, this is the project. This is what you work on. Don't worry about anything over here. And I think that's great because it gives them a chance to be creative.
Yeah. All right, we got off on a tangent. It's always DCU fucking shit over. Yeah.
Yeah, it's sad because it's something that has potential to be good, and even outside of DCU, Star Wars. Star Wars is something I want to see do really, really well. And I don't mean sales because it's got the title Star Wars behind it. I mean, story-wise, I hope that the next 3 installments do really well. Not just Saga, but the Han Solo movie that's coming out next year. I think it's next year.
Yeah.
I'm
You're right.
really looking forward to that.
Best image I saw was a picture the other day with Christopher Nolan had a blue hat on it said, "Make the DC great again."
Are you serious?
Yeah, it's
That's
make the
messed up.
DCU great again.
Well, what do you think about Christopher Nolan directing
Nah,
the Batman movie?
Nah, he's done.
Done.
He's done.
Would you watch it if he did?
Of course I would watch it, but he's done. What I got out of Rises is that he totally told his story. He's done, and I'm happy that he was moving on as well, because I also saw, as good as the Dark Knight trilogy is, I saw faults. I saw some faults, and I was hoping that when Zack Snyder was taking over the Batman, and including that we were going to get some stuff from the animated series, we were going to get this young fantasy, just an active Batman and ass-kicking Batman, more like the animated series or something like that, and it was going to be able to explore the fantasy aspect of the Batman. Unfortunately, it just went a very different way, gritty, perverse type of way. Anyways, that's all another thing. Yeah, so that's why Nolan told his story. It's cool. I just would like to see a director.
If you had a director of choice to film any property, it doesn't have to be DC related, any property, are there any directors that you would like to see take a project that hasn't been done yet? Or
I just know what directors I like. I like Fincher. David Finch. I really like his work. He was always rumored to do like a Batman movie or something like that. But at this point, I think at this point he's too good for a Batman movie. Take away, if you took away the executives in the studio and Snyder's vision of the DCEU right now, and you just had a complete blank start, then I would like to see him on a Batman movie like that. But what they're trying to, I feel they have this vision they're really trying to streamline that just doesn't seem like it's working out right now. We'll know more when Wonder Woman comes out,
which is such a long time from now.
We'll really know at the end of the year when Justice League comes out to really see where they're playing it. But I don't know.
If movie doesn't do well, they could pull it.
Yeah,
they could pull the Justice League movie, which is
very possible.
No, because it'd be nice to see something positive happen on that side. Because right now, directors dropping out.
Here's what Ben
Affleck thinking if rumor or not, to stop being Batman. It's like, wow, something's not working.
Here's what I would like to see. I would like to see
less Zack Snyder.
Yes, but I would like I would like to see at the end of Justice League, everybody dies. I'm listening. If we're going dark, Zack Snyder, kill them all, Peter type shit. Everybody dies. Darkseid comes in, fucking kills everybody except one Scarlet Speedster. He runs so fast, he goes back in time, or causes a flashpoint, and the entire DCEU is rebooted, and we start with a clean slate in Justice League Part 2. Same cast members.
Interesting.
Same cast members.
Different director.
Fine. Different story, different attitude, different feeling, everything. Just completely in this year on Justice League, in the DCEU on Justice League, just like the comics, and you just reboot. You do a soft reboot, basically. Just that's it. If they can play it out on the Flash TV show, and we're still sticking around, and we're sometimes, albeit we have problems sometimes remembering everything. But if we can remember the basic concept, they can do it in a movie. Fucking kill everybody.
Jeez, that's
kill everybody. That would totally get people like, God damn. Like, because rumor has it that's probably what they're going to be doing with the Avengers, number 3.
Well, they mentioned before, a couple years ago, that they were going to kill off some of the Avengers and recast.
So if they do that, I would love it. If that is Zack Snyder's grand scheme of things, that
to have Steppenwolf kill them, since Steppenwolf is the big bad for part 1,
or whatever, somebody kills them all. That would completely, people would flood to go see the Justice League after that. They would like, holy shit, Darkseid and Thanos. It'd be like Thanos who? What are you talking about? Justice League did it already. He killed them all. He's the big bad blue purple dude right now. I'm just saying.
That actually would be an interesting story to see how they played that out. Having the Flash go back in time would be kind of cool.
Shit gets so ripped. Like, look, build Bruce's and Barry's relationship, as we've seen in that Comic-Con trailer.
Right.
Bruce is the last one to get fucking impaled in the heart or some shit like that. And
Flash is trying
Miller.
to run from Darkseid's Omega beams.
Something like that. Yeah.
So he pushes himself to go faster than he's gone
I'd
before.
love that.
Ends up in the Flashpoint.
Or fucking do it
something
in
like that.
Fucking do it in the middle of the movie. That'd be the climax of the movie. And then Flash, we have this basic Flashpoint situation
for the last half of the movie.
Right, where we have different Batman, or it's even worse type of Batman type of story. Fucking have Negan dude playing Earth 2 Batman or Flashpoint Batman or something like that, and
or playing Tom. So
basically
Thomas Wayne. Yeah.
he reboots everything one more time, and then we get this more safe Justice League.
So right before everyone dies, he basically brings him back, and it kind of ties into when he saw Bruce sitting at the computer.
Yes,
and it's like,
exactly.
Hey, you gotta
exactly.
Don't trust him, kind of thing. All right, that's kind of cool.
I wonder if how right we are on this theory. Actually,
Do you know how cool that would be? That would be awesome.
In November, we're watching like, didn't we just fucking talk about this? And everybody watching this long ass rant that got out of control from a fan video,
and they'll be like, "Oh my goodness, they were right."
Oh my god, they nailed it.
I'm gonna be happy even if we're only 10% correct. Like something that we talked about happening in Justice League.
I'm telling you,
I'd be happy with that.
What if what we saw when Bruce was that whole dream, he was dreaming of a dream or whatever.
It was actually a Flashpoint.
That was Flashpoint when everybody was already dying.
You know how cool that would
and
be?
he's like, "Fuck, you're right."
Because that would make so much sense having Steppenwolf there and not Darkseid. Like you have Steppenwolf there, he basically kills everybody or almost everybody. Flash comes back to warn them. And in the second movie, that's when we're dealing with Darkseid.
One of the boom boxes was in Lois's purse or something. I don't know. Lois is the key or whatever.
The mother box is in Lois's bag.
Or Lois.
Or that's how they tied it in with Cyborg, because Cyborg has one.
Right, or Lois, because it's like Lois is the key, right? So like, okay, maybe Lois dies and we get Injustice Superman or something.
And that's when he comes and he just wrecks shop on Darkseid at the end.
That would be cool.
That'd be interesting.
You know what? That'd be kind of cool if, like, okay, we know Superman's coming back, but by the time he comes back, Lois dies right in front of him.
As harsh as that sounds, I'm kind of okay with that to see where it goes.
And it's like dies right there.
Oh,
like Romeo and Juliet style.
That's harsh.
He just comes back, and 2 seconds later, Darkseid.
Right before he goes, they're going to touch hands.
Damn.
And right before they touch.
Yep.
She's snuffed.
Come on, Snyder. If you want to get fucking crazy,
that's rough, man.
That's getting crazy. All right, guys. Sorry about that.
No problem.
DC rants.
Yeah.
Peace.
Peace.
All my friends are heathens, take it slow. Wait for them to ask you who you know.